Hi! Another day, another video! At ngayon, pag-uusapan naman po natin yung mga tips ko for CAP students traveling to New Zealand. So, yung first column, I am assuming na kung ano man yung mga related na papeles for you to travel here in New Zealand para as part of your registration process ay na-sort out niyo na. So, for example, you have valid passport, visa, medical insurance, CAP offer, at saka syempre pa, plane ticket. So, mag-focus tayo ngayon sa mga general traveling essentials. So, first is yung travel bag. Making sure na alam nyo kung ilan yung allocated na luggage for you, gaano kabigat, ano yung dimensions na ina-accept ng mga airline companies. Tapos ako, I always make it a point na you check the little things as well na okay pa yung wheels ng bag nyo, ng handle, at saka zipper kasi you don't want to be in a situation na naglalakad ka sa airport tapos yun, matanggal yung gulong or hindi na sira na pala yung zipper ng bag mo. And then, another thing, depende siguro sa preference nyo, if mas gusto nyo yung bag na parang weatherproof. So, kunyari, kung kahit na umulan, hindi mababasa yung laman ng bag nyo. But again, it's totally up to you. So, basta all in all, yung pipiliin yung bag is big enough to fit all of your stuff, but you can still carry it around easily. Okay? So, yung contents naman, number one is clothes. So, ang clothes, including natin yung mga socks, shoes, as long as it's season appropriate. So, kung kailan kayo darating, dapat yung mga dala-dala nyo appropriate din for the season. So, to give you an idea, December, January, February, that's summertime, super init. Parang Pilipinas, tapos tagos sa boto. So, always wear sunblock, tsaka mga protective equipment, hats, sunglasses, things like that. Tapos, March, April, May is fall. Actually, for me, that's my favorite season. Medyo favorable siya for me na hindi masyadong extreme. Tapos, June, July, August, winter, very important yung layering na meron kang inner, either thermal, tapos may jacket, ganyan. At saka yung iba may mga windbreaker. Depende siguro kung saan yung region na pupuntahan nyo because other areas will be windier than other areas. Okay? Tapos, finally, September, October, November, spring. So, you would expect na minsan maaraw, tapos minsan biglang uulan. So, sabi rin nila dito sa New Zealand, you get 4 seasons in a day. That's why kanina, di ba, nabanggit ko, importante yung layering. Kasi if it gets too hot, at least maaalis mo siya. If it gets too cold, you can just put your jacket back on. Okay? Tapos yun nga, appropriate footwear. Lalo na kung nasa may city kayo nakatira, tapos you prefer to walk around. So, syempre, you need to have good shoes for that as well. Para hindi naman super paltos yung mga paa natin, di ba? Toiletry bag, so yung mga essentials nyo, if meron kayong mga skincare regimen, di ba, by all means, you bring it along. Just remember na you always abide kung ilan yung contents ng meals na pwede mong dalhin sa yung carry-on bag. Okay? Technology, your gadgets, your phones, at saka charger. And then dito sa New Zealand, iba yung end ng plug nila, 3-pin siya. I'm not sure if you can see it. So, yeah. So, just bring an adapter along with you. Sa akin dati, I'm not sure what I was thinking. Isa lang yung dinala kong adapter for my laptop. So, yung phone ko, nag-aantay pa ako kapag hindi ko ginagamit yung laptop ko. So, kayo, maybe you want to have, or you want to bring 2 adapter for your convenience then. And the next is important documents like your birth certificate, marriage certificate, academic qualification, certificate of employment, CV, at saka international driver's license. Tapos, syempre pa, you can also scan all these documents and save it into your USB para extra backup. Next would be cash and credits. Tapos, travel security, if you have locks sa bag nyo, di ba, importante din yon. At saka in-flight comfort, at saka entertainment if you have like travel pillow, eye mask, or earplugs. Tapos, for your convenience, meron akong ginawang checklist na pwede nyong i-print or sulatan yung travel summary nyo, kung kailan yung flight details, important contacts, transport details, accommodation, must pack, at saka nice to pack. Tapos, meron din yan kasunod na mga pages here kung ano yung mga gusto nyong dalhin or your own checklist dun sa mga different items na discuss natin kanina. Okay? So, ayan lang. Okay, so going back, doon na tayo sa pinaka-importanting part, yung settling essentials, part 1. So dito, I'm just going to talk about what you need to consider for the first 6 to 12 weeks na nandito kayo for your CAP course. Okay, so before departure, international travel, check what you are allowed to bring. So, very important ito. I have attached yung link ng New Zealand Immigration at saka New Zealand Customs Service. Hindi sila nagbibiro dito kasi very important yung biosecurity sa kanila. And if meron kayong dala-dala na at-risk items, tapos hindi nyo dineclare, you could be fined $400 on the spot. Okay? So, you don't want that hassle. Organize your transport, kung sino yung susundo sa inyo sa airport, papunta dun sa inyong magiging accommodation. Tapos, ito rin, good to know, research the visa required after CAP. So, for example, if natapos nyo na yung CAP nyo, tapos maghahanap na kayo ng work, anong kailangan yung visa for that? Okay? Next is before leaving as well your country of origin sa money, research New Zealand cost of living. And I've actually created a video about that as well, so you can check it out. And then, dun sa list na nakita ko, nakalagay doon open New Zealand bank account. But ako, I actually did this after arrival ko na sa New Zealand. So, I just wrote it there. Kasi later, may papakita ko sa inyong website na may mas complete list pa. This is from the New Zealand government. So, nilagay kasi nila doon na consider opening New Zealand bank account before you leave your country of origin. But I just want to tell you na ginawa ko yun nung nandito na ako sa New Zealand. Tapos, research about New Zealand taxation kasi syempre pa, once you're working, kailangan mo rin magbayad ng tax. So, dito, ang tax na department ng New Zealand, ang tawag doon IRD or Internal Revenue Department. At kailangan mo ng IRD number din. Okay? So, again, ito yung mga bagay na kailangan nating isipin para once na nagsettle na tayo for the first 6 to 12 weeks ng CAP course mo, tapos ready ka na maghanap ng trabaho, at least may idea ka kung ano na yung next steps mo, di ba? Hindi ka nangangapa sa dilim. Next would be housing, research accommodation plus cost, tapos find accommodation. Tapos syempre after nung CAP or after your arrival, you're also considering kung ano yung mga pwede mong long-term accommodation. Tapos sunod, healthcare. Before ka umalis, kailangan may health insurance ka. Importante po yan. Tapos, alamin mo din kung sa visa mo or kung may trabaho ka na halimbawa, mako-cover ba yung pangangailangan mo ng New Zealand healthcare system or do you have to carry on with your private insurance? So again, ito po yung mga bagay na kailangan nating isipin just in case, merong mangyaring hindi inaasahan. Tapos sabi lang dun sa after arrival, mag-research for GP practice, dental service, kung saan ka pwedeng mag-enroll. Tapos, kung alam mo na kung saang area ka mag-a-attend ng CAP, maganda rin ma-research natin yung transport at saka yung communication. Ano ba yung mga available na public transport options papunta sa accommodation mo, tapos sa school, and then sa pabalik. Tapos, if may driving license ka, pwede mo bang magamit yon dito sa New Zealand internationally? And more importantly, ano ba yung mga New Zealand driving rules? So, sa New Zealand, yung driving, it's left-hand side, nasa left side ng road, tapos yung driver naman nasa right side ng car. So, baka, medyo different yan sa atin or sa nakasanayan if you're from the Philippines. So, good to know about these things as well. At saka dito, maraming roundabouts. So, again, it's important to know kung ano ba yung rules around it if you're driving sa may roundabout. Okay? So, and this information available to online. So, at nililista ko lang, I think, in my part, yung mga dapat isipin, dapat i-consider, di ba? Para mas maging safe yung pag-travel nyo. Tapos, once you're here na after your arrival, so you may want to research kung kailangan mo bang i-convert yung driver's license mo, gaano katagal mo siya pwedeng magamit nang hindi pa nako-convert. Tapos, ano ba yung mga kailangan mong consider if you're buying a car? And finally, internet service at saka local SIM card. Ang mga library dito, meron silang free internet. But otherwise, if you're going to buy your SIM card, may mga options din doon kung ilang data yung pwede nyong magamit tsaka kung magkano. Okay? Tapos, safety and security kasi importante na alam natin how to stay safe and alam natin kung saan kukuha ng support. So, gaya nga nasabi ko before in my other videos, New Zealand in general is a safe country. Pero syempre, evil can be there anywhere. So, responsibility pa rin natin to look after ourselves. So, dito, yung local number in case of emergency is 111. So, pwede mo yan gamitin in case there's fire, medical emergency, if someone is badly injured or in danger, if there is a risk to life or property. Tapos, yung pagtawag sa 111, libre yan. And if you're using your mobile phone, you can also call them kahit wala ka ng credit or kahit wala ka ng load. Okay? And then finally is yung last thing to consider is yung settling in, getting used to New Zealand accent and slang, at syempre pa yung waiting period na kapag tapos mo na yung CAP course, nag-submit ka na ng final requirements sa Nursing Council, tapos inaantay mo na lang yung decision nila. And ulitin ko lang po mga important websites to check, New Zealand Immigration, New Zealand Customs Service, at saka itong Get Ready for New Zealand. So silipin lang natin yung website na yan sandali. So ayan siya. You can either choose kung ano yung main reason mo for coming here. Tapos, meron silang mga list of questions. Hindi naman siya masyadong marami, pero it'll help personalize the checklist for you. And then, yung example nga ng checklist is this one. Nakalagay dyan kung ano yung mga pwede mong dapat gawin before you leave your country of origin, after you arrive here. Tapos, if na-complete mo na ba yung mga task. O, diba? Ayan lang, another resource din if you guys are thinking kung ano pa ba yung na-miss ko kaya. Diba? Ayan lang. And yung mga checklist ko at saka mga slides, as usual, available po yan lahat sa Facebook page ko. So anyway, yan lang muna from me. Sana po meron kayong natutunan kahit papano. And as always, maraming salamat for joining me here today. So I wish you all the best with your journey and I hope you'll have a blessed day. Bye!